Hey, we're back behind enemy lines, Terry and Mike. So we have, for those of you from Illinois, you're going to like the show because we have a couple of true Republicans that are running for office. So our first guest is going to be Andy Williams. He's running for Attorney General, and he's going to be up next, and he's going to explain why you should vote for him. And me and him have some things that in common that he's going to talk about that I fully support and am absolutely behind. Then we got a vet named John Goodman. He's running for Big Dick Durbin's seat for Senate, and we're going to hear about his story and actually what drove him to run for Senate and what the leftist did to his son, which is a rude awakening. And we hear stories like this over and over again, but this is going to be a heartbreaking story. So you're going to hear why John's running for Senate, and then we have a couple things that me and Mike want to talk about, and local politics. This is a big deal for you from Illinois. This just came out before the show. Kathy Salvi to resign as the state party GOP leader. She it isn't dying; it's dead. Yeah, we've been dead for. I've been in politics for 4 years. Where I mean, we've been dead as dead can be. They had Tracy in there. Matter of fact, I think Tracy's running for Senate. What's that noise? I heard a noise. It's my stomach.
Yeah. Well, the audience didn't hear it. It's in the background. So,
all right. So anyway, Kathy Salvi, very, 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 very nice lady. She's an attorney, but she's awful. She's got awful the day we heard that she was going to be put into office. I was floored. I was absolutely floored. She's again, nice person. This is not personal. She's the kind of person where somebody will walk into her office and say, "Hey, I'd like to do X, Y, and Z," and then Mike will walk in and say, "Hey, I want to do A, B, and C." She'll agree with both of us.
yes,
She doesn't have the courage to fight against the Democrats. She doesn't have the courage to call out the rhinos. She's part of that group, honestly. As a matter of fact, we even have some, not just rhinos, we have Democrats running for offices in the state of Illinois. And Mike's going to talk a little bit about that. So we're very glad he's stepping down. I just coincidentally posted yesterday, the Illinois GOP would be better off headless than having Kathy Salvi in that. So that's great news. All right, so the next, you want to say anything, Mike? Sorry, bro.
I was going to say, you definitely don't need a people pleaser in leadership. You need somebody that's got a firm hand on both reality and the direction of the party. So you can't have somebody in there that's just there to try to make everybody happy, because you can't do that. We got to have fighters.
Yes. Yeah. So the next story, let me tee this up first. Oh, well, that's okay. In my area, my township, Downers Grove Township Republicans, we have Senator John Curran. He's the minority leader for the whole state of Illinois. And I do not like Senator Curran. I don't not like him as a person. I don't like him as a politician and a representative. He's 6'8", played football for the University of Illinois. He's a big pussy. He's like a big jolly green giant pussy. And our daughters went to Downers Grove South, and for those of you from Illinois are familiar, that's one of the wokest, leftist, scumbag school board in the whole country. Matter of fact, Charlie Kirk's TPUSA labeled it one of the most radical school boards in the nation. Right? So I don't like him. So what we're about to talk about is not an endorsement of Senator Curran. I think he's like a cancer that needs to be removed from the Republican Party. He takes money from the NEA. I asked him to denounce the porn, and our daughters play volleyball on the same team. And he goes, "Oh, Terry, if I get involved, it'll become political." Now this guy's 6'8", right? "Oh, it'll be distraction." I'm like, "The hell are you talking about?"
It's already
yeah. It's like, and this is 4 years ago, Mike. So I mean, I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about, right? And then I find out he's getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from the worst teachers union in the country that wants tampon machines in my son's bathroom, hates parents speaking up, the gay stuff, all that stuff, right? That's John Curran. So what I'm about to talk to you about has absolutely no endorsement. I'm not defending him, right? I don't give a shit about him. We got to get rid of him. So here we go. I'm hearing myself. There we go. It's gone. I think whatever you did. Okay. So I just got before a woman unknown. I don't want to say her name because I don't want her to get in trouble. I know you're listening. A friend of mine sent me this. Shipley Grammar School in the Downers Grove area was having a open house, and for that open house, Senator Curran was going to come out and hand out school supplies. Typical political bullshit, right? Which is nice,
Yeah.
right? That's great. That's great. Nice guy, big giant. That's nice, handing out little pencils and stuff. Um, so unknown to the principal, who I was told, I don't know the principal. What's his name there? Donald Mrazek. Mrazek. Donald Mrazek. The principal received complaints that Curran was showing up. Remember, we're like little San Francisco, so these leftists, they got League of what's that? League of Women Voters, whatever.
Yeah,
they
League of Women's Voters.
Yeah, they register our kids in the school and stuff, right? Sean Casten, that Marxist scumbag piece of shit's always in the school speaking. Always got Democrats. So he got complaints from parents, only a few, that a Republican was going to hand out school supplies. So I'll just read the highlights here. A few families have contacted me to express their concerns about Senator Curran's visit during open house. That was not my intention, nor the intention of our staff. Perhaps I'm too naive on this matter, and I've misjudged the potential problems and backlash that it presents. I want to be very clear. I have not had any bad intentions in arranging this. I don't care if it's one parent, two parents, or 100 parents. I will do everything to fix it, because a Republican showed up. I reached back out to Senator Curran's office. He will not be coming to the open house. Senator Curran will not be coming to open house because he's a Republican.
So they still have Democrats coming to this.
Yeah, in either case, they will. Oh, he's going to have his people come later. But either case, they will be away from the building at 2 p.m. when the open house begins. They're going to be away from the building. These dangerous Republicans. I apologize for my oversight on this. It was never my intention to upset anybody. Like I said, I guess I was too naive in this matter. I've learned something through this. What'd you learn? You're a piece of shit. Well, he's a Republican. He's not even a Republican. He's a Democrat.
Yeah, he's an undocumented Democrat. But they still have Democrats showing up for this event. Like whoever he's running against is still going to show up.
No, because he's such a Democrat, they don't run Democrats against him. Because
that's hilarious.
He's the Senate minority leader. He's in bed with them. But when they say stuff bipartisan, the Jolly Green Giant votes with the Democrats. He votes with them, right?
Yeah. Well, that's
from the state of Illinois or anywhere throughout the country. Call John Shipley School. Ask for Donald Mrazek, Mrozik, and you could reach Don at 630-795-6300. 630-795-6300. Call that Marxist piece of shit out for not letting the Senate minority leader speak to children, or even just, matter of fact, he wasn't even speaking. He was handing out pencils and shit. Call that piece of crap out. Welcome to the state of Illinois, behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
So with that said, sorry about my rant. I'm going to pass it off to Mike for some other local news, and then we're going to jump in with Andy right away.
Yeah, because we got to follow up on one other story that we've been covering on and off for a while, and that's Joe Severino once again. So he's trying to pass this off as some kind of endorsement from General Flynn, but unfortunately, I work for Flynn at Patriot TV. I've been one of his producers for over a year. He's a friend of mine. I talk to him and his assistant Melissa on a pretty regular basis. So we decided to show him what's been circulating on Twitter. Even though he's been tagged on this stuff, this guy, obviously, Flynn, gets a lot of messages, so he doesn't necessarily see these things until somebody brings it to his attention. So this is a tweet from Severino trying to imply that General Flynn endorsed him. There is no such endorsement. We're going to show you some backups, some text messages here in a second. Here's another one.
Sorry, Mike. I think that picture with General Flynn was like from years ago. Years ago, when it was years ago. It has nothing to do with now and him running for governor. I'm pretty sure of that. Oh,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Or it's just somebody met in an event in a picture line. That's happened before. The next Republican governor of Illinois explains how we win without the uniparty mega. And then this is the tweet he tagged Flynn on. And this is a flyer again, trying to present it as if he was endorsed by, well, both Flynn and Ann Vandersteel. And I've worked with for a long time too, produced some of her work. I used to work on her program when it was still on Lindell TV. And since then, worked with her both as a guest and then on her program, and a lot of the stuff she's done over the border, helping get the production done on that and get up her documentary. There's a text from him. There's part of this I want to highlight down here. Sorry, I'm trying to read through this again real quick. Does Flynn know about this article? Max wrote about you with your stolen valor. Does Flynn know that you're partnered up with the establishment to sell out all the actual Patriot in order to be in bed with the establishment? BS grassroots coalition, all the time scheming. Anyway, just more nonsense.
Oh, see the top paragraph there? That's an important one there.
Yeah, you're a stool pigeon for the government. Why is this guy who's victimized by the government even in the same room with you? I'm sharing my article with a Southern Poverty Law Center. Who on the right does that? They try to sabotage our people all the time. Again, that's why this guy's just another undocumented Democrat.
Doesn't Soros fund the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure he does. But yeah, they're trash. They've gone after Will Johnson. They've gone after Annie Cyrus. They've gone after everybody. Anybody on the right that they don't like.
Yeah, Flynn.
And General Flynn. I'm going to be sending Flynn Vandersteel a personal message. We'll see. You're over there supporting Val Store and Value, and you want to talk to General Flynn. So we've cut some names and phone numbers off of this, but this is General Flynn and Ann Vandersteel. I recall this guy at Bobby Penton's event, and I concur. He's office rocker. I remember him. Is he using my photos as an endorsement?
Oh, that was General Flynn's comment there. Oh, there you go. Another one, too.
Yeah, that was Flynn's. And yeah, sorry we had to delete some personal information off of here. We don't want to get their numbers out to people. But yeah, this is, again, General Flynn and Ann Vandersteel. What's this about? I don't know this person, probably met him. I've met millions of people across America, and a photo together does not equate to any sort of endorsement at all. And then from Ann, sir, this Severino is nuts, and he's being publicly called out, has a file on him with law enforcement.
Yes. You hear that? Wait, say that. Read that last sentence again. That was from a big shot. Say that again.
Yes.
Read that last sentence. Come on.
Has a file on him with law enforcement. Then we got this. Well, this is encouraging. Between you and your public awareness campaign and his obvious mental illness, I think the people are catching on. I think that was also from Ann, wasn't it? That was back from Ann. Sorry, I got to look at this on my phone and back and forth.
So,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Close this out and then hand it off to Andy.
Yeah. Again, trying to pass off this is some sort of fake endorsement. Flynn's not too happy about that. So I'll talk with him more over the weekend. But again, there's a bunch of undocumented Democrats right now running in Illinois pretending to be Republicans. He's not the only one. We've got a few others we're working on. You're going to see some articles and some other stuff up here shortly. But yeah, we got to stop this. Again, if we want to retake control of the state and actually get them in a better direction, it isn't just the Democrats we got to fight. It's all the undocumented Democrats hiding and pretending to be Republicans. And sorry, Terry, you can go ahead with the intro, and then we'll get started here.
We have Andy Williams. He's not related to Andy Williams, different Andy. And so he's running for lieutenant governor. Hey, buddy. And
Illinois attorney general, not lieutenant governor, right?
I'm sorry, attorney general. Sorry, duh. And I liked him when I first met him for many different reasons, including I guess not ex-felon, ex-offender, ex-citizen. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And so like we have a very big commonality about that. And he's fighting for people like myself that already paid our price to society over and over again. And for some reason, some people think we have to pay for the rest of our lives, even though we paid back the debt, the quote debt that we owed. So I'm gonna stop wasting your time. Why don't you introduce yourself, talk about your platform, and whatever you think is important and why people should vote for you?
My platform is really written in the Constitution of Illinois, which is to protect the rights of the people. And that's what has been missing. Most attorney generals has been an advocate of the state and not the people. And that's what I'm here to do. And the reason why I'm running for attorney general, because it's personal. I've sued Pritzker 3 times. I got a suit against Kwame, Alex Giuliani. When we talk about the label of people labeled as felons, because it's just like a label, like the Campbell soup label.
Yeah.
Just put a label around somebody. I'm not a felon. We are the people. So the legislators can't pass legislation that infringes upon the rights of the people unless we're entitled, unless due process has happened. And what I mean by that is I'm not advocating for everybody to possess firearms if they're mentally unstable, but that has to be adjudicated through a competent, keyword competent, court system or competent system. And so when I advocate on the behalf of people labeled as felons, and I'm suing the Illinois government, for better terms, the attorney general should not fight against that. The attorney general should say, man, this brother or this person is right, and say, we got to correct that, because that's what you affirm your oath to do when you get sworn into office. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm running. Discrimination in housing, another reason why I'm running. The COVID, most people don't know, but I was the first to sue under COVID in Illinois based on religious freedom.
Yeah.
Which is in the Constitution.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. You got a question for Andy?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and yeah, that's in states like Illinois, there's hardly anybody taking up that mantle and fighting for all the workers that needed religious exemptions from the COVID shot. Again, they act like that's not something that people have a right to or deserving of. So good. At least somebody was standing up for people over there.
Yeah. And
I got something else I need you to look into about suing, Andy. So, I went to state and federal prison. I'm very fortunate, right? I got a great job. I live between a doctor and an international businessman. I work my ass off, but I'm labeled. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, you're labeled for the rest of your life, even though you paid your debt to society. I had an insurance plan for me and my wife and my children, a very good one. And then I tried to, I want to get more money as I did better for, as I made more money and income, I wanted to get increase the amount for my family. And Northwestern Mutual got back, and I exceeded the threshold where they got back and they did a background check on me. They said, well, you're an ex-felon. I'm like, okay. My insurance guy called me. I'm like, so what? He says, well, we don't insure felons. I mean, you already had this policy for so long. They don't do background checks, but until I hit this really big amount that I could afford, then they require background checks, I didn't know any of that. So I guess the thing is that ex felons are more likely to die or whatever. So that's something worth looking into. Is like, we can't get insurance because we fucking went to prison 30 years ago. It's like, give me a break.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sorry. I mean, I know you like suing, man. That's something that should get attention.
Wait.
Should have our.
I want to be clear. I don't like suing.
Well,
I do whatever I need to do to enforce our rights is what I do.
I should have said you're good at suing. Sorry. You're good at suing.
I would prefer just to send a letter and say, hey, look, let's just straighten this out. So I have it got dismissed last Wednesday, the Seventh Circuit Appellate Court, because when I had sued the state of Illinois, again, Pritzker, Kwame, it was 22 defendants. So I sued judges, prosecutors. Most of them are all Democrats. There was one Republican in there. Not going to throw his name out. But
there's always a rhino.
The Seventh Circuit denied the suit. And I was arguing that you've overthrown the republic, which is a limited government. You see, and you're violating the supremacy clause. And so how they moved around it is they just did not respond to certain portions of my brief that was very specific about the due process violation, because I had a legally inconsistent verdict for a traffic stop that I've been fighting for 5 years. So I'm going to do a motion to reconsider just to clarify, but I'm going to take it to the Supreme Court. And this is why I'm saying you're not electing Andy because he's some popular guy. You're electing Andy because he has a track record of advocating on behalf of the people. And I'm the first formerly incarcerated non-attorney. You get that? The non-attorney running for attorney general. And I can do it because Article 5, Section 3 of the Illinois Constitution does not require me to be an attorney. and all no disrespect, because I work for a phenomenal law firm and I know phenomenal attorneys that are really advocates and abolitionists. But in Illinois, what attorneys has really stood on the rights of this current government overthrowing our republic? So that's where we coming in with the background. Who has stood on our religious freedom? Who has said that? Like, I have the right to worship the way I feel as long as I'm not infringing upon somebody else's rights. And that's not what's happening. We're like just going along with the flow. And I'm saying, no, we're the Joshua generation. We're not into all that no more. We're not doing it. I'm not going to disrespect my elders. You know how I feel, Terry. But at the end of the day, we need a solution. And we need to do that by any means necessary. And if it means Andy got to run for attorney general, then that's what I'm going to do. And we get to partner with Mendrick because he has this program that he does rehabilitation with the Just Us program. And so now we're getting to the root cause of the real crime. And now we can heal the people through the correctional facility. So then we don't worry about recidivism because they actually came in. And am I saying everybody's going to be straight? No. But I'm also saying the very first act of Congress was the Oath Act. That's the very first act of Congress that happened. And if you violated your oath, it was treason because you warred against the Constitution, and it was punishable by death. When I mean death is a civil death. So you lose your job. Man, I got over 29 defendants in suits that I filed against Illinois judges and prosecutors that have all violated their oath.
Yeah.
That's a civil death. You don't get to stay in that position because you're not serving the people. You're serving your interests, which violates the Ku Klux Klan Act because you've been engaged in a conspiracy with the judge, the prosecutor, the police officer, the state, the IRS, whatever one you want. And I did sue the IRS and they settled. So,
nice.
you know,
the Ku Klux Klan Act is not like a racial thing that he's referencing. It's not racial, so don't get all.
But wait, if we talk about the Ku Klux Klan Act, and I know the political parties are not exactly the same today as they were back in 1860, but the Ku Klux Klan Act was created because the states were infringing upon the newly freed Negroes' rights using the government and creating mob action against I don't like using the word white or black, but let's just say for these terms, the white people that was advocating with them. And the Ku Klux Klan was a defense arm for the Democrat Dixiecrats. Yeah. So you just got to understand what we're saying here. That this is where it rose up.
Just like Antifa is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were just the terrorist wing of the Democrat Party following the Civil War. They had to put on masks and hide themselves, just like they're doing today, because they're going to use violence because they can't win at the ballot box.
Oh,
Andy, talk about recidivism and the importance of it and how people, first of all, people, if you don't know what recidivism means, it's like the revolving door of going back to prison. And unfortunately, you're late. I said this over and over again. You're labeled for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter what color you are, right? Even where I live, right? I'm being attacked, even by somebody running for governor. It's bringing up my 35-year-old history. And the recidivism is so important because if you're helping people, not to Andy's point, not everybody's going to be, of course, there's bad people that don't want to help and stuff. And there's a lot of them, right? But there's a lot of good people that want a chance to change their life and they're not given because they got a stamp on the rest of their forehead for the rest of their life. And you have to understand the recidivism and reducing that stops people like myself to go back and bang. I went twice. I'm lucky. I went twice. That's it. That's too many times, right?
Well, let me add one other thing in here real quick before you hand it back to Andy, because it's also a lot of people, I think a lot of people, so again, I've said this before, I was in the staffing industry for a long time. We had a lot of people come through our door because they had a felony that was non-violent and it's following them around for the rest of their life. And sometimes it was people with things like back child support. And I'm not talking like they were dodging, didn't want to pay for their kids. Like we had literally had one guy that spent 6 months in the hospital. He was a CDL driver. He's run off the road. 3 months in the hospital and then 3 more months in rehab, gets out, finds out now he's a felon because the state of, I don't know if it's Arkansas or Alabama, press charges because for those 6 months he had no income. Eventually his bank account ran out. And I think after 3 months, because it was over $1,000, they charged him with a felony because of what he owed the state down there for child support. So you have a lot of people that one mistake or even an accident or whatever then ruins the rest of their life. They can't vote anymore. They can't own a firearm. Maybe they're doing 5 years of probation afterwards. So there's a lot of people. Like, we're not just talking violent crime. There's a lot of people you probably meet every day. I know the guy's an engineer, what do you call it? Environmental engineer that came to us. That luckily the same thing, it was child support. But the firm he worked for kept him on after this happened. They understood, but the minute they closed down when this guy retired, all of a sudden now he can't get a job because the type of industry he's in, they just won't hire felons. And now he's got this 15-year-old felony from child support from something that happened as he was getting out of college. I mean, it's ridiculous that you wreck people's lives for something that happens once. Like, I understand, like, repeat offenders, if they just won't learn a lesson, at some point there have to be permanent consequences. But especially for people like this one mistake, we got to give them a chance to get back on their feet.
Yeah, Andy, I'm being called a habitual criminal from 35 years ago, and I don't want to mention the scumbag's name, but it's like been 35 years. I mean, that doesn't meet the definition. So go ahead, Andy. It's your.
Well, when we talk about recidivism, I don't really need to discuss that because Sheriff Mindrick, who's running for governor, has a solution, meaning the lived experience. I'm going to get to the root of this. We're going to offer rehabilitation, tattoo removal. And when I mean rehabilitation, I'm talking about getting to the root of the trauma. When you got people that were 4, 5, 6 years old, men being raping little boys, or women being raped and being violated, which is murder. Not just physical murder, like a murder. You stole somebody's virginity. You stole their childhood. And so they're reacting from that. You can't arrest that. You have to free that.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And that's what Mindrick does. So I'm saying I'm going to gear towards that and say, here's the solution. Now, when we talk about the child support, the government should not even be involved in that at all, because if we go to common law, it's a breach of fiduciary if you have a child and don't take care of that, which turns into a civil matter. And then if you don't take care of that child, and if we have to, quote unquote, lock you up, it's to pay what you owe, not to penalize you. And this is why the government has gotten too big. It's just too big.
How are you going to pay once you're in prison?
And how are you going to pay if you take your driver's license? And I could go on about the driver's license. So I'm saying what Andy is representing is the common law, not these codes, statutes. It just went from the slave code to the administrative code to the penal code. If we go back to common law, which is torts, where you injure me, you injure my property, there is accountability for that. The Bible talks about
to pay.
Right. The Bible talks about the Lord disciplines those who he loves. So this is not about getting away with something. What it's about is saying, listen, DCFS, although maybe it intended to be good, which I know 2 people who worked there that were real good, they are trafficking children. Do you understand what we're doing here? And we're saying, no, we're not doing that no more. And the role of the Attorney General is to protect the rights of the people. But that's because you swear an oath, which I'm not going to swear an oath. I'm going to affirm to uphold the Constitution. And now we make Illinois free again, because February 1st, 1865, Illinois was the first state to ratify the 13th Amendment. So I'm just trying to go back to that. And when you think about the taxes that we pay for the sticker tax on our car, $150 a year, what we got to pay when we purchase a vehicle, a private matter, now we got to pay the state to register the vehicle. See, these are all things that keep people behind the 8 ball, that we don't recognize it. And if we, the people, created the government, how did the creator start serving the created? How did the created overpower the creators? We're the creators, not the government. Yeah. We got to reverse this curse. We got to switch this around. And that's only what we, the people, can do. There's nobody else going to do it, because it hasn't been done. So although I respect some of the elders that decided to run for office, if you ain't fixed it in the 50, 60 years you've been doing it, I don't know what the hell you think you're going to do different today. Move out the way, go to Florida, wherever you got to do, watch your great grandchildren, and let our generation step in. And if you want to mentor us, because I'm all for the mentoring. I don't want to go through the mistakes you made, but don't get in the way. Then don't get in the way. You just wasting time. You're a distraction like a little gnat. Come on, man, go get your
Yep.
depends.
Yep. Andy, one thing I want people to understand is that, I grew up in the Southwest side. I didn't grow up in the South side of Chicago, right? And people, I'm not a Democrat, but you got to understand people's environments and stuff create who they are. I grew up in a 725 square foot little house, like a duplex. My dad worked for as a laborer, dug holes for the city of Chicago, and I didn't know about college. I mean, I did, it wasn't nothing. It was nothing. And I had the opportunity to get into the life that I got into. Right, I got recruited by older guys, and I was wrong. I deserved to get punished and all that crap. And I got to say honestly, and this is not politically correct. I'm very fortunate to where I'm at and what I've done now. But I'll tell you right now, it's so hard once you're labeled, as a felon for the rest of your life. It's hard to get jobs anywhere. And if I didn't end up with the job that I have now, 30 years ago, and get lucky and worked hard, I would have been back to a criminal. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to work and raise a fucking family off of McDonald's. And a matter of fact, it's even hard to get a job at McDonald's, right? You know what I mean? So you have this punishment that you serve, but then you have a punishment for the rest of your life. And then they want us to punish our children for what we did a long time ago, because our children have to suffer the consequences of what we did when we were kids. So people have to understand it's so important that you guys understand that we're not like this leftist liberal bleeding heart. You guys know I'm not like that, but you have to understand we have to give people opportunities to turn their lives around for those that want to, and if it's for the best of all of us. Sorry, Andy.
And I love the opportunities, because while some people are talking negative about Donald Trump, and listen, I don't agree with everything Donald Trump does. Neither do I agree with
Neither do
everything
I.
my wife does. But what he has passed is opportunity zones. And in Illinois, there's 327 opportunity zones. So what that means is we can be entrepreneurs and bring the solution and use wealthy people to invest in these opportunity zones to get a tax deferment. And now we can stabilize the economy by creating opportunities for those that have been
Yep.
labeled a felon, or even somebody that's living that's homeless or houseless, or a drug addict, or an alcoholic. And some people are alcoholics and drug addicts because they cannot afford counseling and medicine, so they have to
Yeah.
self-medicate. It's the
Yeah, and
reality.
and a lot of them, it's escaping something else, and then eventually they find themselves in a different hole that they can't dig their way out of. It's something I saw all the time, running a lot of these staffing companies, especially doing the day labor halls. It's really sad. Now, some people will eventually pick themselves up, or something happened that's so bad they have no choice but to get to rehab. But if you make that available to people, again, especially like Sheriff Mendricks talked about, after the problem happens, then we're not letting it go 20 years where, again, now they're in a hole that's so deep they can never get out of it.
Right. And I just want to clarify, I grew up in a two-parent household. My stepmom is German, a.k.a. white, we would see. I had school clothes, play clothes. So even though I moved off the path and got into gangs, been to prison, that's because my mother and my stepmother, but she's my mother, her and my father separated. So I didn't grow up in a neighborhood that I left the hospital and it was gunshots. I didn't grow up that way, but I veered down that path, and then I had a foundation to come back to. So I'm not like, oh, I had this rough childhood growing up. No, I did not have a rough child. I was the rough child because, feeling rejected. You a little kid, you don't see your biological mother. Like, we don't know how to navigate through that. We're still children. We long to be nurtured. And if you don't have that nurturing, how can you judge somebody without knowing them? Like, there's a story that says, don't judge me if you haven't walked a mile in my moccasins. If you ain't been in my shoes, how do you know? And I think that's the part we're missing in our communities, is we don't know our neighbors because we've been so judgmental. And I want to represent the opposite of that now. I've forgiven myself. So that's the piece I have. Look, Andy, whatever you did, forgive yourself. Just don't go back and do it no more. Now I've got my freedom. I've got my freedom. And so I come in the spirit of Frederick Douglass, as an abolitionist. And that's why when people hear me talking about the radical Republicans, because they were the early abolitionists, and they were a faction of the Republican Party that abolished slavery. And I'm saying today, this legislation is legalized slavery. We want to get money, we just legislate something. How can
Yeah.
you? That's not your job. Elected officials is not job to legislate stuff that is repugnant to the Constitution. It contradicts the Constitution, and then these judicial officers are turning a blind eye, and now they're conspiring with the legislators. This is, bro, this is tyranny. This is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And I got a solution. And the solution is I need 10,000 signatures to get on the ballot. Got to be in by October 27th. We say the 15th. Listen, get up with Andy. Get your petition. Get me
Andy,
on
what's
the
your
ballot.
Andy? What's your website or Facebook or because we don't have, what is it? What's your website?
www.andyforag.us. andyforag.us. And if you message me on there, I'll send you a petition. That's
Let me
it.
get that on the, I'm gonna get that on the screen. So andyforag.us, right?
And the reason why is US because it's not Andy by himself. It's us. Yes, it's a us that's running for this. And I'm gonna do this because this is what I do every day, all day. I'm not just showing up saying if you elect me, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm still doing it now, right now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you want a closing statement? We ran way over because I talked too much, and then we had the intro. Do you want a closing statement? Why Andy for us?
Because I'm doing the job. That's why. It's personal. Regardless what happens at the ballot, I'm not changing. This is who I am. You will see me either in the paint clothes, the courtroom, or the boardroom. That's where you will see me at all the time because this is who I am. I'm born for this. I just discovered my purpose and I'm happy to be doing this. I'm happy to be representing what freedom looks like, not what freedom is talking about. It's what it looks like.
Well, thank you, bud.
Again, you got some fresh ideas, and that's definitely something we need right now. So thank you. And again, if you guys are watching, it's Andy. Man, I cannot talk today. Andy4ag.us. Sorry, guys. I've had like a on and off cold for the whole week. We got one other guest joining us. Thank you again, Andy. We're going to have you back. And guys, go sign this petition. Get him on the ballot. At the very least, he deserves a chance to run like everybody else. We need to get him his 100,000 signatures. So go out there, tell your friends about it too. Share his Facebook. Oh, sorry. I thought, well, you know what? Get them 100,000. That way they can't disqualify you like they do in some other places after the fact.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks
All
again.
Right, so now we have John Goodman. Sorry, John, we ran over and they had a little issues with the link. Looks like you're downtown Chicago.
Okay. So
Hey.
Chicago flips grid.
Good. So I'll let you do your introduction. We ran over, but you could do it better than I. You know, ex veteran from Afghanistan. I talked a little bit in the beginning why you're running, some of the things that I personally am passionate about in fighting, and then you unfortunately had experience it yourself, which kind of initiated your passion to do what you're doing. So go ahead, John. Why don't you share about your background, military service, and get into why you're running?
Fair enough. So, my 3 to 5 minute spiel that I give everywhere. I'm an Afghanistan veteran. I took an oath to protect our country and our Constitution, and just because I'm out of the military does not mean that our oath is finished, or my oath is finished. Excuse me. I got my start in all this because last February I moved to Chicagoland from downstate. I moved here and I saw what was going on in the college campuses. I'm not going to put up with that. I fought it overseas. I'll fight it here. So me and some buddies went down to DePaul University in Lincoln Park, and we got those pro-Hamas, pro-terror encampments cleared out. They put me on page 3 of the Chicago Tribune. Afterwards, some of the Jewish community in Lake and Cook County said, "Hey, Dick Durbin's abandoned us. Jan Schakowsky's abandoned us. They're letting all this hate and anti-Semitism run free. We feel politically homeless. But we saw what you did. We trust you. Can you run?" Sure. So they helped me find a campaign manager. They helped me get my start. And I have a personal bone to pick with the local left. My personal story is Christmas Day, 2019. My son came to me and he said, "Hey, Dad, I got something to tell you. You promised not to kick me out of the house." I said, "Whoa, I'm not going to kick you out of the house, Bub. What's going on?" He said, "Well, Dad, I'm a trans lesbian." I said, "Whoa, Okay. First of all, I love you. Merry Christmas. Second, I don't know what to do with that. Third, let me grab a drink. Let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, seriously. So I did what we did.
Yeah.
And we talked for about 3 hours. He wanted to go see a mental health provider. And you know what? We did. And all they did was reaffirm that trans identity. That being said, my son ran away 2 years ago. My son ran away 2 years ago because someone online told him that if you live in a homeless shelter in Minnesota for 2 years, they'll pay 100% of your transition for free. Now, I don't know if that actually happens, but that's what he was told, and that's what he believed, so that's what he did. And I found out about 2 weeks ago he's already had 2 surgeries. So,
Nice.
and I used to go and say, you know what? The woke left stole my only son, and I hope he hasn't done anything permanent. But I want to make damn sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else's kid. Well, I still hope he hadn't done anything permanent, but he's started doing stuff. And you know what? Keep your hands off our kids. He's an adult now,
Yeah.
but
Um,
but he was on the spectrum. And that's the thing is they start targeting the vulnerable. And it starts in the schools. It starts in the schools, and in the schools we have the so much indoctrination going on, and we need education and not indoctrination. 2
Yeah.
out of every 3 kids in Illinois cannot read, write, or do math to grade level, but yet we're worried about gender fluidity at kindergarten. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come
right,
on.
Right.
yeah,
I've been
I
Oh.
learned over the weekend. I can't remember which county it is. I was just up there for an event in north of Chicago or south of Chicago for networking the networks. That in one of your counties, in third or fourth grade, you only have 2% that can read at grade level, which is insane.
right. So that's the thing is all this money is going into the Chicago Teachers Union and the NEA, and it's being filtered down to the administrators and through the government to push the woke agenda. I'm sorry. If we're failing our kids, people ask me, what's your top 3 things? Well, my top 3 things are, 1, I believe in the generation that came before me. We need to save Social Security. And the first step in doing that is put it back in a trust, keep the left's hands off it. It's been their piggy banks at LBJ. Second, I'm a veteran. I believe that, this is the land of Lincoln. Lincoln said, if we send them to war, take care of them when they come back. We can do better. We can do better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then I believe the children are our future, not to quote an 80s song, right? But it's true. And the future looks bleak. We need to reinvest in our children. They don't need to worry about woke ideologies, gender fluidity, or I've been to 30 some odd counties now. We have kids dressing as furries and using litter boxes in the bathroom. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
They were serious. Are you kidding me? If I would have went to school and dressed in a costume and it wasn't Halloween, I would have got paddled and sent home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have got beat up by your friends.
Right? So
Yeah.
we need to get back. We need civics classes. We need economics classes. We need shop again. Oh my goodness. I took shop. We need to get kids learning trades. We need to get back to basics in almost everything. I say Trump says, make America great again. I want to make Illinois normal again. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So,
Very good.
Yeah, sane.
So-
Make it sane again.
yeah. I mean, the left has run the state into the ground between gerrymandering, woke ideology, bad fiscal policies. We can save Illinois. It's not too late, but we need the grassroots to stand up, and we need the numbers to actually show up. We have the numbers, but a lot of people over the past, I've been doing this since February. A lot of people I call have given up.
Yes.
They shouldn't give up. We need to reinvigorate that fire. We need to save Illinois. We can flip this entire state red, and it starts with the Senate seat and the governor's seat.
So I don't know if you heard some positive good news, because I think big problem with the Illinois GOP is it sucks. It's awful. And
Indeed.
they keep talking about, oh, we got to do vote by mail. You got the same day, vote early. It doesn't matter if you're voting in Illinois, taking a shit, you got nothing else to do. Republicans don't want to vote because you suck. So Kathy Selby's stepping down. Did you see that today?
Oh no, I did. Well, someone sent me an article right before
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah,
So
same with me. We posted it before. Yeah, so that's great news. Kathy Selby's a very nice lady. So this is not personal. She's a nice lady. She's
she's a sweetheart, and in real life, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But just because you're a
You
nice
need a
person
fighter.
doesn't mean that you're great at your job. You
Yeah,
know,
we need a general. We need a wartime general leading us.
right?
We need a Trump. We need a General Patton. We need a General Michael Flynn. leading us now because we're losing. We're in a battle that we're getting decimated. We need to give people a reason to say, you know what, I'll take 3 minutes to vote at my kitchen table for John.
Right?
They don't care. They're like, oh, it's a waste of time. You got guys like Senator John Curran. That's a Democrat. He's the leader of the Senate minority. I mean, we have to fix that in parallel about the voting issues. Until we give people a reason to be excited or hear your message and say, wow, this person I think is going to represent us this time, unlike Curran and some of the other slugs, we're
Yeah.
never going to turn this ship around.
Well,
You know
real
what?
quick,
Oh,
this
go ahead.
This is the election cycle to do it, especially all of you guys in Illinois.
Right?
The left is completely demoralized right now. Nothing is going to change in the next 12 months. We're going to be able to run
Nope.
the table as we actually get out there and get aggressive. We're going to be able to win seats that 2 years ago or 1 year ago, we would have had no chance of winning. Right now, support among their own party is at 23%. That means they're just going to sit on their asses at home. And if you guys get out to the ballot box, we can pick up a lot of victories that otherwise would have been out of reach.
It's true. I tell people this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity right now. We can flip this entire state, but we need a candidate that can go and invigorate the people. We need a candidate that can go and reach out to the grassroots and the establishment. We need someone who can unite, not divide, and we need to invest in that. I'm sorry. Invest your time, invest $5, whatever. Get out and vote, whether you believe it's me, whether you believe it's someone else. We need to take the state back, and it begins this cycle with this seat and with the governor's seat.
Yeah. Because
Well said.
if we don't win now, we'll never win. I mean, people.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're never going to win. And to your point, when you first started talking, John, people are demoralized. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a human, right? It's like the first time I got elected, I went door to door. The second time, I'm like, you know what? This GOP sucks. The Downers Grove Township Republicans suck. I'm 63. I'm like a spring chicken without all those people are ready to die in the Downers Grove. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Half the committeemen can't even walk. You know,
Right.
they-
And
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, the establishment, they all they want is the good old boys. And you know what? That was great probably in the 80s, but come on. People are tired of old rich white men leading them. I get it. I've looked in the mirror. I'm white. But you know what? I'm young and poor. I'm just someone who wants to represent the people. I'm what the founding fathers wanted. I'm an average everyday Joe. You know what? I can relate to everyone's issues. I've been divorced. I have kids. I have kid issues. I've paid child support. I've been on unemployment. You know what? I want 2 terms because a first term senator can't do anything. Second term, if I can't do anything in 2 terms, I don't deserve to be there. Send me home, send me back, and put someone else in. Instead of sitting someone there for 40 years, are you kidding me? And they're wanting to run Don Tracy for this seat. He's what? He's in his 70s now. By the end of his first term, he'll be in his 80s.
Yeah.
People are tired of it. They want change. They want someone who can invigorate change.
Yeah, Tracy's another feckless individual. You know, when I first got into I was never involved until 4 years ago because of the porn and stuff, John.
Yeah.
And Tracy was involved, and I'm like, okay, as I watched this guy, he's like, he ain't doing squat. And then we had
Right?
Jim Zay running the Downers, DuPage County. Jim Zay, that guy's a joke. He's bragging. I'm the longest sitting DuPage County board member. It's like, okay, Jamoke, you've been in there for 20 some years. You took us from bright red to deep blue. Are you
Yeah.
proud about that?
Yeah, I've been DuPage and King County is my bread and butter right now. And you know what? The DuPage guy now, Coiney, love to death, right? Kane, we got Andro out there. He's working hard to try and flip that county red. You know what? If we have people all over, we have county chairs and township chairs that are willing to stand up and fight and do what's right and try and get someone in who they know can win.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the establishment doesn't want that. The establishment wants to keep the status quo. And I never believed in this uniparty thing until I started getting into politics.
Oh my
Holy
God.
cow.
Yeah, it's true. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, Downers Grove Township Republicans, if you guys are watching this, you know, I'm a committeeman. I don't do anything with them because they suck.
Yeah.
But Jack Novak's got 1 foot in the grave. If you guys want me to take over for him, I'll take over. I will take over, and we'll create some excitement in Downers Grove Township. We'll get rid of those old grandma and grandpas. Nothing wrong with being old, but when you're old and
No.
incompetent and you don't do anything and you pat yourself on the back, well, we didn't do that bad this year. It's like, are you kidding me? You get
Yeah, don't
crushed.
accept losses. One should be your wake up call.
April should have been the wake up call. Are you kidding me? We got slaughtered and consolidated. It's north of 80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I it
Yeah,
that should have been a wake up call. Hey, we're doing something wrong. Let's
You see-
fix it instead of keeping the status quo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm here in Ohio. You know, we're about to run Vivek Ramaswamy. He's going to take over. We're going to get rid of property taxes here. We're talking about forward progress, and that's the way Illinois needs to be.
You think he's
Right?
going to win? I hope so. I love that guy.
The thing is
Oh yeah.
forward progress is different than progressiveness. The progressiveness has they've progressed off a fiscal cliff. It's
Yeah.
insane. But someone once told me Republicans don't and conservatives don't believe in change. No, we do believe in change, but we believe in doing it smartly and cautiously so it has the best benefit. And that's one thing that the left doesn't know.
But except in Illinois, we got to get the leadership needs to go because they keep taking care of themselves. We have very little money in the state of Illinois. And you're probably going to learn that yourself, right?
Yeah.
And the establishment, the little money that they get because they scared away all the big donors are
Oh,
gone.
Yeah,
Right?
Ken Griffin's gone.
Yeah, the little money that they have, Uline. I don't think he's going to do squat this year. I don't blame him. But the little
He
money
hasn't given to me yet. I reached out to him a couple times.
Yeah.
So
the little money that they do acquire, they give it to their rhino candidates or guys like John Curran's got 2.5 million. The guy sucks. He's a Democrat. He's the Senate minority leader, and they do stuff for him. That guy, we should shame him out. So whoever comes in and takes over for Salvi, we need to get rid of Curran. He sucks.
So, do you have any idea who the next in line is? Because apparently that's how it works. I was told it's not my turn, right? So apparently they have a line waiting.
I can't believe this came out today because just yesterday I posted on X and I slammed her and somebody else's comments. And I said, we would be better headless than having Kathy Salvi in. I swear to God. And she's a nice lady, headless, because she don't do anything. Maybe people would fight to take over, and that's what hopefully is going to happen. But I hope they just don't anoint some other jamoke that's an ass kisser to the establishment that doesn't have balls, courage, willingness to fight, to call out the Democrats, to call out Pritzker aggressively, that fat piece of shit, Marxist, or call out the John Currans. We need somebody that's willing to do that. And if we don't, we're done. We're done.
You know what? Give me a soapbox, give me a platform. I have nothing to lose. Like I said, I don't want to be a politician. I was retired before this. I want 2 terms. I want to go back to my dogs. I was asked to do this, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I want to be a public servant, not a politician. So you know what? I'll call anyone out. They want to end my career, fine. At least I know that I did the right thing. So I've always done the right thing. I'll always continue to do the right thing, and that's how I got my start in this. Is I did the right thing, so people asked me to run.
So John, because we did run over. So why don't you do a closing statement? I got to ask you a question first, though.
Yeah.
Are you holding that camera up with your arm?
Yeah, I am.
God, I'd be cramping my old ass. I'd be like, oh, I don't know how you're doing that. That's great.
I got my arm resting on the edge of the bar,
there you
keeping
go.
from falling in the river. So
There you go. There you go. So, why don't you tell people where they can find you, right, on a website and donate to you, and if you're speaking anywhere soon, and then closing statement. Why John?
So, my name's John Goodman, not the actor guy. Although I've been trying to get his endorsement, even though he's a lefty. That'd be an amazing endorsement. John Goodman endorses John Goodman.
Oh my God, we just had Andy. We just had Andy Williams, and now John Goodwin. We got 2 stars on.
Right?
Yeah.
So my website is Goodman for Illinois. It's all spelled out. When I announced, they put the actor's picture in my my website. If they'd only clicked the website, they would have seen. If you want to donate, you know what? $5, $10, that reoccurring monthly donation. If it's not for me, do it for a candidate you love because we need it. Kathy Salvi, I was at a dinner and she spoke and she flat out said to the candidates, the cavalry's not coming. It's up to you. You know, so
Oh my
so-
God, John, that's sorry. So I tell people, and like other candidates and stuff.
Yeah.
Matter if it's Mendrick, you, Andy, when you decide, or for like if Porter was going to run, if you decide to run, you're running as an independent, not an independent. Independent by yourself. No one's going to fucking help you. And she's part of. I'm surprised she said that. She's part of why there's no cavalry coming. And it's been from Don Tracy to her. They passed the batons, and there's nothing. Sorry, keep
Right?
going. You're spot on.
No. And all my social media is Goodman for Illinois. For some reason, my personal X took off more than my my campaign X, but if you go to my personal X, the link to my campaign X is there. Goodman for Illinois on everything. So, and if you go to my website, I don't know that my calendar's up there, but you'll see me. I'm everywhere. Andy, he called me the other day. He goes, "Were you at the McHenry County Fair?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That was the first event I haven't seen you at." Andy knows I'm hustling. I know I will put in the work. I tell people I have the tenacity of a pit bull on crack. So I'll put in the work.
Well,
I mean,
and to
John,
our to our
when
audience
you were-
outside Illinois, this guy's going to be taking out Dick Durbin. So again,
Yeah.
donate, get this guy elected. We got to remove the scum in
right.
the Senate.
I tell everyone you can't do it locally. It has to be a national effort. In fact, at the end of the month, I'm going down to Dallas and meeting with donors in Dallas. I'm going to D.C. I'm trying to get the ball rolling to get more money coming in nationwide because we can flip the state red. And like I keep saying, it starts with the seat. It starts with the governor's seat. And people just have to be invigorated and want to help instead of give up.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question. When you were at McHenry County, was Joe Severino speaking there? Oh,
No.
he was uninvited. sorry, my bad.
Oh, did you hear what he did at Lake County? Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Tell us. Go ahead. Tell us.
well, I wasn't a first party to it, so it's hearsay. But apparently, he stole their booth and named it the Joe Severino booth. So I mean, I told you here. Let me tell you this one, since everyone else is jumping on the Joe Severino bandwagon. My first interaction with him. All right, I give my number out everywhere. Call me, 312-522-9386. I have people call me 24 hours a day. Someone called me, he's like, "Trump bombs Iran." All right, cool. Thanks for letting me know. But Joe Severino calls me up, and my first interaction with him, he goes, "Is it true that your son turned trans because you have PTSD and you used to beat your wife?" And I said, "Who is this?"
Oh,
You know, he didn't even say hello.
holy shit.
And I said, "Yeah." And I said, he said, "My name is Joe Severino." I said, "Joe, I don't know who you are, but I was a single parent. So if you want to run with that story, you go ahead. It's not going to fly." So,
Oh my God, I didn't know that, John. Well, I'm glad
yeah.
you were able to. What a piece of shit that guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear what he did with John Anthony's kid? Right. I'm not. I'm gonna stop spreading rumors, but yeah, he
Yeah. Well,
he has no respect for me.
yeah.
No
Well, we
respect for me.
debunked his fake General Flynn endorsement earlier. I used to work for Flynn at Patriot TV. Actually, Patriot TV used to carry Terry's show here, so I've known Flynn going back for a while. And same with Ann Vanderstill and these others he's misrepresenting right now. It's disgusting.
Well, you know what? I've been working on trying to get a Flynn endorsement. He's very anti-child trafficking, as everyone should be, right? And you know what? I think that goes hand in hand with a lot of the stuff that's going on that I'm trying to fight against.
What
So-
branch were you in, John?
I was Air Force, but when I was in Afghanistan, I was attached to the Army. I was part of the 82nd Airborne. I was part of the 207th Infantry Brigade while I was there. I've served under all the branches, but I was Air Force.
Okay.
So-
I just was wondering if it was Army, that might have helped a little.
You know what? So technically, I did serve under him.
Yeah.
He was in my chain while I was there. So yeah, but
Well, we can
Cool.
send him the clip from this, and I'll send that to him.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. Go back and get some more people to support you. I'll tell everyone I said hello, and sorry about the email problem, but we
no. It's no big deal. I'm sorry if there's background noise. I'm downtown, so.
it was good.
Well-
So tell everyone hi. Thank you very much. Where can they reach you one more time?
All right, so you can reach out on all my social medias. Goodman for Illinois, right? It's all spelled out. GoodmanForIllinois.com is my website. That's where you can click that donate button. You can email my campaign manager from there, or you can call me. You can yell at me. I don't care. 312-522-9386. I'll talk to anyone, because how can I legislate if I'm not willing to talk to you?
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck.
Yeah, we'd love to
Thank
have
you.
you back on
Thank you
again.
for having me
Thanks
on.
again. Well,
John.
good luck out
Yeah.
there. Keep fighting the good
Thank you.
fight.
Thanks, buddy.
Always, sir. Always.
Okay, well, that was a good local show for us, huh?
Yeah, we covered a lot of topics. Got to interview a couple interesting candidates. You guys get a chance to see what's out there, and I mean that's part of what it's about, is letting people express their ideas and their vision of the future for Illinois.
Yeah, we had two big Hollywood stars, man. Andy Williams
exactly.
and John Goodman.
Totally unexpected. I don't know how you pulled this off, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, I didn't tell you that I'm talking to General Flynn's sister. We're gonna get her on the show.
Oh,
I know
Mary?
you.
Yeah, I
you
know Mary.
but especially with all the stuff that went on with the Venezuelans here and stuff. So she's on the radar coming up, and we'll keep doing our shows. We got some pretty cool guests, so I hope you guys keep watching us, sharing, and really appreciate everybody watching.
That's right, guys. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to grow so we can bring more people the news the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear.